Have you ever had a prophetic dream that seemed to predict the future? Well, in today's passage, we see a Jewish warrior named Gideon, who has just such an experience. Let's dive into the text and see what we can learn from it. Our story begins with the Israelites living in fear under the oppression of the Midianites. God raises up a deliverer named Gideon, and he tells him that he will use him to overthrow their oppressors. But Gideon is afraid and asks for a sign from God to confirm that he has been chosen for this task. And God gives him that sign in the form of a dream. Judges 7:9-15, before the Midianites and the Israelites were ready to go to war. Gideon was out in the camp and he heard one of his soldiers say in his sleep, "I had a dream. I was inside the Midianite camp, and I saw a barley loaf tumble over and fall on the ground where the men were assembled. And I said to him, 'Hey, show me that dream again, please. Show me it again.' So the man told him again, 'See, a barley loaf was tumbling over and fell on the ground, falling on the man's lap.' Then Gideon got up, went that same night to the camp of the Midianites. And there he saw that the whole camp was arranged in military formation. And he took a young man with him, and they hid themselves by a heap of stones, and he cried out, 'Hey, wake up! Show me that dream again, please. Show me it again.' And the young man told him, a barley loaf tumbled over and fell on the ground, falling on the man's lap. When Gideon now realized that the Lord had given Midian into his hands, he attacked them and defeated them. In this passage, we see Gideon being given a prophetic dream that tells him how he will defeat the Midianites. The dream tells Gideon that the Midianites are careless and that their victory is assured. How do we know this? Because in the dream, a simple barley cake falls and lands on a man's lap in the midst of the enemy camp. This shows that the Midianites are so careless that they don't even notice a large piece of bread falling in their midst. If they are this careless with something as important as their food supply, how much more careless will they be when it comes to an attack from the Israelites? But some may ask, if God gave Gideon this dream, why did he still need to hide and listen to the soldier recount the dream to him? To that I would reply that dreams in the Bible are sometimes given to individuals, but their interpretation is not. That's why Gideon needed to hear the dream again, so that he could understand its meaning and apply it to the situation at hand. Sometimes God gives us dreams, but he doesn't necessarily tell us what they mean. That's why we have to study the Bible and use our common sense to figure out what the message is. So what's the main lesson we can learn from this passage? It's this: never underestimate the power of a dream. Dreams are a way for God to communicate with us, and we should always be ready to listen to what he has to say. If he can speak to Gideon through a dream, then he can speak to us through dreams too. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Until next time, thanks for watching.